What's up, unit? Salute. Amped up. July 24 of the year 2025. And we have a really special review show for you today. Because as of the recording of this review, it is actually July 23rd, Wednesday evening, just minutes away from AEW Dynamite. That's right. You're not just getting an AEW Dynamite review for this upload. You're getting this review in real time. As AEW Dynamite is on the air, I'm going to be reviewing this show. We're not going to wait till later in the night when it's over or the next morning like I usually do with many reviews. That way I have all my notes in order, more facts come in, sleep on it, clear head going into these reviews the next day so you guys get the best possible review. But no, not for this review. We're going to watch this Dynamite just as a fan would do, right? Because this is what we're told. This is what us critics and us reviewers were always told. Just enjoy pro wrestling, as if we're not trying to do that. Of course we're trying to. We're just waiting for something entertaining to capture our imagination, to capture our interest, to captivate us. Of course we're trying to enjoy pro wrestling, but more than that, we're trying to be captivated by pro wrestling. I enjoy a bowl of ice cream. I enjoy a night with the old lady. I want to be captivated by professional wrestling. That's what got me into it. Larger than life characters and storylines. I can't wait to whip the wallet out and say how much because I have to see the pay-per-view. You don't get that too much in pro wrestling these days. But I'm going to watch this in real time. And it's twofold. The reason we're doing this special review for Dynamite is twofold. And that's because most of you guys know that follow this channel. I'm not able to catch every Dynamite and every Collision every week. Collision for sure. A lot of Dynamites I can't catch live. And sometimes not at all. So you guys know I am much more of a casual fan when it comes to AEW. And you say, well, BC, you know everything that's going on and you know all the wrestlers and the stories and this and that. Well, of course, because what I do not see, I do my research on and I do my due diligence and I learn everything that I missed. That's in part for what I do for you guys, but also because I love pro wrestling. So I'm always keeping track of everything. Shoot, I know what's going on in a lot anyway, not everything, but I know what's going on in Japan, all over Europe. I follow my pro wrestling. But I'm not able to catch every Dynamite and Collision, unfortunately. So when I am able to, I jump at the opportunity. I take that chance every time, and I jump at it, and I say, damn right, if I have the time to catch a Dynamite, I'm catching a Dynamite. And usually I talk about it the next day for you guys. But I wanted to do it different, because not only do I have the time to catch this Dynamite, but I want to cut through the bullshit with this Dynamite. And what I mean by that is there's a huge sector of the pro wrestling base that praises a show like Monday Night Raw from World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, WWE, I catch just about, no, not just about, every. It would be a massive asterisk if I miss any. But Raws and SmackDowns, Mondays and Fridays, I go out of my way to make sure I catch them, or at least most. And if I miss any, I absolutely will catch it at some point within the next 24 to 72 hours. So nothing gets past me with World Wrestling Entertainment. So I know when it's a good show and when it's just not. And there seems to be this direction I've seen a lot of fans go in, and not just fans, podcasters, creators, talking heads in the pro wrestling world. There's this new agenda or narrative that Raw's actually good, and AEW Dynamite just sucks. Now, you could say AEW's not good all you want. That's fine. It has a lot of improvement that it needs to tap into, no question. But I've always said the same thing, and I'll say it for the millionth time. Whenever I'm able to watch a Dynamite, the one thing I've noticed, it's at least watchable. Whether it's good or not, okay, that's a discussion. But most of the times, they're at least decent. I can at least get through it, and it doesn't seem like a chore. I can't say that about Raws and SmackDowns. So what I'm saying is if you want to trash AEW's Dynamite or a Collision or their product, keep the same energy because most Monday Night Raws are absolute garbage. But that energy's not there. Like this past Monday night. Just go over the show. Before Roman Reigns got out there at the top of the third hour, which was the final segment of the night, before Roman Reigns finally woke up Houston, and I don't blame Houston for being asleep, because Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque McMahon gave them nothing entertaining for over 2 hours. He was just hoping that Roman would just bring everybody to life and everybody will call it a good show afterwards. And guess what? The Seals clapped and did such. They were right there when the show was over with their wooden bowl and wooden spoon going, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, please, sir, can I have some more? And Helmsley's always there, willing and able to dish out more seconds, thirds of his bullshit stew. But before Roman got out there, what was a good show? Bayley just informed Lyra Valkyria at the last second that they have a tag title match in about a half an hour. And then they went out there and had a tag title match out of no. Bayley and Lyra, not even a tag team, they got a tag title match. And 12 minutes later, Bayley was looking up at the lights. What was it all for? Nobody knows. How did she get a title match? Nobody knows. For the men's tag team division, you see what they did? A triple threat tag match with LWO, Creed Brothers. And I don't even know who the third, that's how forgettable it was. A third nonsense. Oh, it was the New Day. Poor New Day. They're being forgotten about. A triple threat. Do you know what was on the line? Why are you having 3 tag teams face each other? Nothing. During the match, Mike Cole had to say, this match is, as if he's just making it up. Or Helmsley thought last second, maybe we should tell the audience there's something on the line. So Mike Cole in the middle of the match goes, this is for a future tag title match. Future. We don't know when that is. Next week, SummerSlam, Clash in Paris, Survivor Series, WrestleMania 59. Nobody knows. The local bingo hall, nobody knows because they don't have a plan. They just we're throwing 3 tag teams out there and we'll just say it's for a future title shot. So Bayley and Lyra are going for tag titles. Nobody knows why, how, and Bayley's just looking up at the lights anyway. The men are having a triple threat tag match for a future title shot. What else? CM Punk and Gunther said words. Do you want to know what they said? This is a true story. CM Punk said, when we get to MetLife at SummerSlam, I'm going to give it everything I have in that ring. And Gunther came out and said, you think you're the best and I think I'm the best. So at SummerSlam, we're going to find out who's the best. And then he leaves. And CM Punk just watches him go. And that's the segment. That's the build for CM Punk and Gunther. You think you're the best. I think I'm the best. Hey, at SummerSlam, let's find out who the best is. Okay. Wow, this is genius writing. It's a good thing we're giving a creative writer $200,000 a year for this. Thank goodness Hunter Hearst Helmsley has saved WWE with this writing. It's fantastic. Lyra and Becky Lynch said more words. For 4 months, they've been saying words. They said words. At SummerSlam, I'm going to beat you. No, at SummerSlam, I'm going to beat you. All right, then. This is where you give me a manhandle slam. Okay, boom. Becky Lynch gets manhandle slammed. Wow. This is such a great Monday Night Raw. I'm giving you guys every segment that happened on Monday. Every segment. Io and Stephanie Vecchia and Io Sky. Again, a rematch from just a couple months ago. But this time, they said 100 times in the match, this is because we need a winner. Last match, they didn't have a winner. We promise you, the reason we're having a face versus a face is because we need to find out who the winner is from a couple months ago. Okay, fine, whatever. You're splitting your audience. I don't know why this match is needed because you heard at the start of the match, let's go Io, let's go Steph, let's go. You're splitting your audience. Stupid. But okay, let's see who the winner is. And when the match was over, 50 minutes later, half the roster for Raw for the women was out there. The match was thrown out. We didn't get a winner. You split your audience, and it was a bait and switch. You didn't have a winner. And then you went into Roman Reigns. Oh, I'm sorry. No. You saw Rusev and Sheamus again. You saw it a bunch of times 10 years ago, years ago. Rusev just came back, and they're just reigniting that same feud from years ago. Wow, it's exhilarating. If you were wondering why Houston was sitting on their thumbs during that match, that's not Houston's fault. And then you got to Roman Reigns. And that just ended with Bronson Reed jumping in with Breakker and Jason Yeaterman helping out Roman. And the heels run away. The dumbasses, because they don't have a name, so BC called them the dumbasses last week. And Roman, big fan of the channel, salute to Roman. Roman's like, yeah, let's just call Paul Heyman, not the Oral-B. Let's call him the dumbass. So he's taking my advice, and that's their name, the dumbasses. And they run away. And the show ends, I'm not even joking, with Roman Reigns yeeting with his cousin. Yeeting. Roman Reigns, certified badass these days. He's yeeting with all the kids from Chuck E. Cheese and everybody else. And I'm supposed to tell my audience this was a good show. To try to get some more views, some more subscribers. No. I don't need to patent numbers if it means selling my soul to the bullshit that a lot of this community sells for. No, not going to happen. You can get that at other channels. You can get that from other people. It ain't going to happen here. I'm not going to bullshit my audience. Raw sucked. But it's interesting because you'll hear Raw was so good, and then Dynamite comes along, and most weeks it's actually watchable, but people will rip Dynamite apart. This is coming from somebody who's more of a fan, you could call it, of WWE, because that's all I've ever known, and that's what I make the time for out of habit and hope every Monday and Friday. Habit because it's what I've been doing since I was a little kid, and hoping the show gets better one day. Habit and hope is why I watch WWE. But I've been a fan for decades. According to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, because I don't like what I'm viewing these days, I'm not even a fan anymore, so I'm just a full-out critic, I guess, of world wrestling entertainment. So be it. Now I really have no boundaries. Now I really have no filter. If Helmsley said I'm not a fan of it anyway, then it be what it be. I can rip it apart even more. All right, guys, we had to cut the opening monologue short. AEW Dynamite went live, 7/23/25. Hangman Adam Page starting the show. He's backstage. He's headed toward the ring. Renee Paquette bumps into him for some words, and Hangman could not be more bothered. Right? Hangman, an amped up Hangman is always fun, especially backstage. He just always looks like he's on a mission, always so focused. So when somebody kind of bumps into him or tries to get his attention, it's like cruising down the road, you got a good flow, and that pesky red light pops up. Or you're cruising down the road and somebody cuts you off at the last second, ruins your flow. That's always Hangman Adam Page. He's just always on a mission and cannot be bothered to be pulled over for anything. So Renee was able to get some words out of him, and then Hangman Adam Page heads to the ring for his match with Wheeler Yuta. Now up front, at first I'm thinking, Wheeler Yuta? That's reverse booking, right? We've already seen the climactic moment at All In. The climax has already occurred, and Hangman has gotten the championship from Mox. He beat Mox. He's got the title. So how do you go after that climactic moment? You reach the mountaintop. Now all of a sudden you're just having matches with his henchmen again. It's almost like you went back to the beginning, and you're just taking on all the henchmen again. It's like, that's what you see usually to get to the head guy, right? Because Mox is the leader of the Riders. So you would see Hangman versus Claudio, Hangman versus Wheeler. I don't know. It's AEW. Hey, Shafir versus Hangman. Let's do it. I'm sure Shafir would be all up for that. But it just felt weird that, like, we saw this big moment, and here we are a week after, and Hangman's just in there with Wheeler Yuta. But those concerns were nullified because this was so well done. It was just supposed to be a squash match. This was a maybe 3-minute match at best. I mean, if you had a few swigs of coffee, that was it. The bell was going to ring. The match was over. Wheeler Yuta's looking up at the lights. Hangman with the W. And I mean a squash match. And after the match, Hangman grabs that chain, wraps it around his fist, and just starts wailing away on Yuta. Busts this dude open. To say he's wearing a crimson mask would be an understatement. Blood dripping down. It's on his hand. Wheeler Yuta's selling was great here. His hand is shaking as there's blood all over it. And it was so cool that TNT, TBS, they let it roll. The freedom that AEW has in their relationship with the TBS. That they trust them that, you know what? Sport it. Not just sport it, but we can leave camera A on it. I mean, if there's just a little bit of blood in WWE, the camera has to look away. Towels have to come in, medical, even if it's just a little cut, little paper cut. Put a Band-Aid on it. No, we have to look away. In WWE, if the audience is swearing or using a profanity word in their chant, they will mute out full segments. From Raw, SmackDown, and even NXT, I saw an Ethan Page, Santino Marella promo on NXT on Tuesday night. Half of the promo was cut out. It was completely muted because the crowd was chanting things, and WWE can't have that. It's too, not just family-oriented, it's too kid-oriented. They're just totally directed at just kids. The WWE product is just for kids these days. Just look at the crowds. You see more kids than ever before. It's a Chuck E. Cheese for WWE. The Yeet Master. He's pulling kids, picking them up, patting them on the head. You can't do anything in WWE, man. If you're over the age of, if you're over the age of 12, this is not your product. WWE is telling you it is for kids. It is childish garbage. You can't do anything. You can't get a paper cut. The audience cannot use any profanity at all. It might get cut. It might get picked up on the microphone. Oh no! It's unwatchable. That's not being dramatic about it. That's not just a little hiccup in the WWE product. It makes it unwatchable. Forget the fact that you have 8,000 advertisements all over the ring, the turnbuckles, the LED boards. You got 8,000 advertisements that are making it unwatchable. Now they're muting out all of their promos because the crowd is chanting something. It's just refreshing. It's refreshing to see that they made that a part of the segment. Yuta is busted open, and there's a purpose to it because Hangman lifted him up as if he's going to chuck him over the top rope like he ended Mox at All In. But instead of doing it, he stops and he rethinks it. And he looks at Yuta and he starts screaming, "You think Mox is coming to help you? Is that what you think? Mox is coming to help you?" And Yuta's looking at him like he's just a madman. And he lets him go. He lets him fall to the canvas with his own blood and his hand shaking, and Hangman lets him go. It's almost like he wants Yuta to know who you thought was your savior, your guider, your leader. He has used you all along. He's not coming to save you because it does not serve his best interest. Will that click with Yuta? Is that a crack in the foundation of the Death Riders? Is that what that's even supposed to be? Maybe not. But it's a cool little story. And the blood helps that because Yuta needs to be saved in that moment. He's about to be hauled over the top like Mox was. It's a continuation. You gotta respect a segment like that. Or maybe not. Maybe that sucked. Raw good. Oh, that's a really cool moment, man. Will Ospreay, an emotional promo, or interview, I should say, with Tony Schiavone. We'll talk about that in a second, but goes up to the top of the ramp where Swerve and Ospreay with a big hug, man. That's a pretty cool moment. It's pro wrestling, so I'm always expecting, Swerve is too much of a face, but I'm always expecting, the Marty Jannetty Shawn Michaels, right? Marty turns around right into a Shawn Michaels super kick. They're hanging on it too, man. They're just stuck on Swerve and Ospreay, and Ospreay's back is turned. It's not going to happen, but nor should it. Swerve is way too over right now. All right, they're both going to the back. We'll go over this, man. I've been a huge supporter, even back in Japan, before he was even in the States. Huge supporter of Will Ospreay. We'll get to that in a minute, but there's a matchup beforehand that just took place. Jet Speed versus FTR. Hopefully I get this right. Tag Team Championship Eliminator Tournament. I think that sounds about right. So a little tournament to get to the champions at Forbidden Door. Now, I'm not a big fan of these type of matchups, right? I say they're matches to get to matches, and I can't stand that because most of the time you're going to dilute story. AEW didn't technically do that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I just don't like fatal four-ways, triple threats, battle royals, gauntlet matches, or tournaments just to get to the champion. I feel like it's just an easy way out, and we do it too much. We overdo it to the point where there's no more prestige in it. There's no more meaning, no feeling to it. I just feel like there's so many tournaments these days. And do we really need a full tournament just to get to a tag team title opportunity? Now, I will say, at least there is a date, Forbidden Door. The winners of this tournament will take on the tag team champions at Forbidden Door. Whereas WWE, they had 3 tag teams out there on Monday. A triple threat tag match. And they were just like a future tag title match. They didn't even they don't even know the date. They're like, we'll circle back in the future. So at least I can't rip them any more than I would WWE, because at least there's a date. But now you got to track this whole tournament just to get to the champions. Not a big fan of this. The match itself, though, I don't think the crowd sat down once. Jet Speed and FTR, if it's just the wrestling action, the nonstop action and the flips and the dives and all of that, you had your fill on this match. I mean, you couldn't blink. You couldn't take a swig of coffee. I will say at the end of this, I truly believe Knight pinned Dax. Go back and watch. I don't think I'm wrong, man. I think the referee, subconsciously, I don't think it was deliberate because it wasn't what was supposed to happen, so he had to hold the count up, but the referee screwed Jet Speed. Knight rolled up Dax, and I think it was a 3. Moments later, Dax rolls up Knight for the pin. Huge assist to Stokely Hathaway. I don't think I've ever seen this where Stokely put his crutch through the ropes so Dax could use it for leverage on the roll-up. Boom, 1, 2, 3. I thought that was actually pretty unique. So that's the W for FTR. Now, after the match, I got to give flowers, or at least one flower, to Hathaway. This dude is sweating profusely. He's so into the promo that he's cutting on Copeland. Copeland does come out, stays in the middle of the ramp, because don't forget, last week, Stokely informed Copeland that he cannot touch FTR. If he does, he's fired, probably sued as well. So, okay, I might as well not come to the ring because I can't lay my hands on him anyway. So Copeland says, I've done some business. And here comes Hurt Syndicate. So I do like that. All right, I can't lay my hands on you, but I know a group, Hurt Syndicate, that has no problem. It's like APA. Remember WWE when a lot of wrestlers would hire APA to do the dirty work? So here comes Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate muffs up FTR to end that segment. My issue with that is I hope we're not just looking at, I don't know, it might be the point of no return for Hurt Syndicate being faces now. But I always felt, especially with MJF, they have to be heels. Diabolical heels. They're cool already, right? You got the chants. We hurt people. The crowd loves chanting that. And they're just cool, especially with MJF. I get that. But you can't just turn everybody face that's cool. Then you'll never have a heel. It's up to the company. You could sell the merchandise, keep them cool, but you make the audience know they're the diabolical heels. And eventually you want to see faces take titles off of them and reign supreme. And I just think that they came out to help Copeland. This once heel team is beating up the heel FTR, and FTR is way more of the heels in this segment. So I don't know if you can even go back now. I think they're faces, right? You can say, well, BC, they're kind of tweener. Well, we don't need tweener, especially MJF. We already did MJF as a face. It was weird. It's not the same MJF. So I guess they're faces with a twist. I think we're treading very fine water right here. We have to be careful. But I do like the fact that Cope said, all right, I can't, but they can. But I don't know, man. I just don't. MJF as a face, and that's definitely what they were. They came out to whoop the heel's ass. They came out to help one of the biggest faces in AEW, Copeland. The crowd is heavily behind them. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Don't forget, I was not for MJF joining Hurt Syndicate, but they did it so well. Over a month of just thumb up, thumb down, and that was the story. Just Hurt Syndicate putting thumbs up or down. And I was like, hey, this actually works. So it's pretty cool. So we'll see. This is one of those situations I will actually let it play out. But it's what happened next. So that's with the tag team division. Then we took a break and we went into Will Ospreay. And this is what all of us have been waiting to hear. We heard Ospreay was injured and we didn't know how long. A lot of us thought that it's, could be pretty bad. And it doesn't sound good. He's in there with Shivani and he says he's got his C2 and his C6 is muffed up. You're thinking that's at least a year, and should he even come back? That's 2 in his spot, C2 and C6. That's not good. And he's like, with the right treatment, docs say I could be ready for Forbidden Door next month. How is that not like the best case scenario? This dude could be wrestling next month. Is that smart? I don't know, man. Your C2 and C6 is muffed up. You want to go back to wrestling in his style next month? And hold on, you know what? I said this is a live review. I have to listen to what MJF and Syndicate's saying here. Hold on. Oh, I like this. Hold on. MJF is actually pissed that they went out there and helped Copeland. He's like, where were you guys when I needed... See, this is what I mean. I should just let it play. AEW, man. They can tidy up stories. I like this. Oh, shit. Bobby just jacked up MJF into the lockers by his throat. Oh, shit. Bobby just said, I want you out of the Syndicate, and he just put his thumb down. I said I needed more story with this, and they gave it to me instantly. That was awesome. I was just saying, something doesn't feel right about them going out as faces and MJF just being this face again, even though he wasn't out there for the beating. So, guys, what just happened backstage is MJF walked up to the Syndicate, and where were you guys? What are you doing helping out Cope? I needed you... MJF cuts him off. He's like, we told you, we're in the business of hurting people. That's what we do. It doesn't matter who it is. So he's telling you, face, heel, don't. We're in the business of hurting people. And MJF is like, that's fine. Why don't you help me get my title back? And Bobby just loses it and jacks up MJF every week. It's I. As far as I'm concerned, I want you out of the Syndicate. He puts his thumb down. That was good. The explanation, face, heel, for us, it truly doesn't matter. We in the business legit to hurt people. And MJF wants no part of helping out people like Cope. Oh, this was so well done. That's awesome. I was literally just saying I need more. I need more, but I'm willing to let it play out. I didn't have to wait long, man. Tony Khan's like, just give me 2 minutes, BC. let us do Will Ospreay in a commercial. I'll take you backstage. We'll tidy it up. That was badass. Ask you shall receive. Pretty cool. Where was I talking? Will Ospreay, though. We're going into Toni Storm right now. I think she's taking on Billy Starks. Isn't this like an Eliminator 2, though? Well, I'll wrap this up, and then I'll watch this, and then we'll talk about this in a couple of minutes. But Swerve. Oh, no, yeah, Swerve came out afterwards. But Will Ospreay, man, he's talking about his C2 and C6. And I'm thinking, dude, just take many months off. Even if you're available for Forbidden Door, don't come back that soon. But this dude's talking about coming back and taking care of the Death Riders instantly. This dude is like Superman. C2, C6, and he's like, nah, I'll be back next month. Ospreay, I just hope it's not too soon. We wish him the best, though. He gave props to Swerve, he gave props to Hangman, and he told Death Riders, I'm coming to whoop that ass. And when he went up to the top of the ramp, Swerve was there. They embraced in a big hug, and they held on that, man. Camera A, B, and C held on that for like a good 90 seconds. Pretty cool. So, yeah, we'll see, man. That's the best news imaginable, I would think, because we were hearing a lot of things, and we were hearing that the neck was messed up, and many times when your neck gets screwed up, your career's done. You may come back for a match or two, or come back longer term, but it's going to be years, like Cope took years off. Some people still think Cope shouldn't have came back. It's not worth it. Big E, still out, may never come back. Stone Cold Steve Austin and his neck injury, never the same afterwards. Ended his career short. Happens all the time. So I guess that's the best case scenario for Ospreay. So that's that's getting you guys caught up. It is now the beginning of hour 2. Toni Storm and Billy Stark is in the ring. Starks. Remember Starks for the New York Knicks? Any New York? No? Okay. I don't blame you, man. The Knicks have been bad for so long, but we're back, man. The Knicks are back under Jalen Brunson. All right, Toni Storm is shaking that ass. I'm going to check this out, have some more coffee. The magic of YouTube, I'll snap. We'll talk all about it. Man, how good was it to see Athena on AEW Dynamite television, man. So cool. Seeing her up in the balcony, watching this Toni Storm, Billy Starks match, and then almost cashing in after this matchup. Billy Starks taps out to Toni Storm in that chicken choke. Post-match, Billy does some dirty work for Athena and lays out Toni Storm. Athena then hits the ring with that contract. Goes to clock Toni Storm, but doesn't get all of it, not even near. Maybe got none of it. Got maybe the forearms of Toni. So it was really cool to see 60 seconds later, she tries again and hits a home run. Clocks Toni right over the dome piece. Toni Storm is down and out. She goes to cash in. But Alex, what was the last? Alex Winston? Alex Winehouse? Alex Weasley? Ron Weasley's sister? I don't know much about this Alex. I'm sure she's got a good look. Probably really good. I'm guessing over in ROH. She has a matchup for the ROH title on Collision, actually, against Athena. But I don't know much about it, and I didn't even catch she was in for the save, and then we went to commercial like moments later. So it was real quick. Alex Winston, Alex Weasley, whatever, all the best to her. She'll probably be getting the title, maybe. Who knows? Maybe Saturday, right? Because Athena's going for Toni's champion. Almost had a little cash in, man. I was like, no, you can't do that here. But damn, I'm here for it. I actually get to watch it live. But that should be that's going to be a lot of fun. You could do so much with Toni Storm and Athena. But I thought that was well done. But now you have a matchup with Swerve and Hechicero. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. Just like this Alex. I don't know much about Hechicero. So I'm going to actually watch this match, if you don't mind. Another swig of coffee. We'll come right back, and I'll give you my amplified, honest thoughts on this. I don't know. I have no expectations for this, so hopefully we'll see. We'll see if this leads to anything. What's the purpose? Or is this just a wrestling match? Hechicero versus Swerve just because? Is Don Callis the new wise man? Possibly. Hold on. That laugh from Ricochet, man. I tell you. That laugh, man. Ricochet's in a backstage interview with Jacob Fatu's brothers, it looks like. Is there 3 Jacob Fatus? Ricochet is with a couple of Jacob Fatus. Anyway, he's being interviewed by Alicia Atout is how they pronounce. I always thought it was Alicia Atout. I'm pretty sure she's dating MJF. So pretty sweet gig for her. Anyway, the matchup. Hechicero versus Swerve. Don Callis had a pretty sweet plan. It was never about the win or the loss. That doesn't matter. It's just about Okada gaining the upper hand on Swerve. So at the end of this match, the Callis family hits the ring. They're chased off by the faces. Brody, of course, and who else? I can't think. They're chased off. So this just leaves Swerve in the ring. He gets up. Boom. There's a chair that enters frame held by Okada. Sure enough, swings for the fences. Swerve drops like a ton of bricks right where he was standing. And Okada has the upper hand. Smiles to the hard cam. Okada, the Callis family, man. I don't know. Is Callis the new wise man? It was a pretty sweet plan. Match itself, yeah, I don't know. If you're a big Hechicero fan, I'm sure you enjoyed this even a little more. This was really cool for you. This was, I was just kind of waiting for like the substance at the end. You know, what's this leading to? This can't just, these days it could just be a winner and a loser and that's it, commercial break. But what I've noticed with Tony Khan is there's always something on the other side of the match. So, pretty good. It was simplistic, nothing over the top. Okada gains the upper hand, and I've been really into what Swerve's been doing anyway. I'm pretty much always into what Okada's doing. So, yeah, we'll see where that goes. MJF is hitting the ring. I got to listen to this, man. Here we go. And MJF, don't forget, he got jacked up by Bobby Lashley earlier. And Lashley said, I want you out. Thumbs down of Hurt Syndicate. MJF is not happy. And he should be happy tomorrow. No. Yeah, by the time you guys see this, it'll be tomorrow. Friday, man. Happy Gilmore 2, starring MJF. Or at least co-star. He's got a pretty big role in it. Anyway, let me hear this guy swig of coffee. We'll come right back. We'll talk MJF. He's got a live mic. Damn, that was old school MJF with a live mic completely ripping up Mark Briscoe. MJF middle of the ring. Mark Briscoe comes to the top of the ramp, top of the staging area, and he's got some words for MJF. Completely challenges him to a matchup next week, but says there's nothing better I'd like to do right now than to get into that ring and shove this microphone up your ass. But I have too many kids and I know they'll dock me pay, and that's bacon I can't get back. Something like that. It was great, man. But that's where Briscoe's lines pretty much ended. And MJF took over and did what he does best. And he just ripped Briscoe, man. He says, you got a messed up eye, missing teeth, and you talk funny. He says, you're the guy that we parade around here for cheap laughs and cheap pops. You'll never be the guy. Not even your biggest fans look at you as the guy. In fact, you'll never have the respect that your brother Jay had. He hits the ring. MJF completely hightails it, man. I don't know if I ever saw MJF run that fast. MJF gets in the ring for his main event matchup with Claudio Castagnoli. But, man, it's always good when MJF has a live mic. That's one of those things. You put the remote down, you pick up your coffee, lean back a little bit, and just be entertained. Simple as that. Whether he's wrestling or whether he's got a mic, MJF is one of those dudes, man. He said this when AEW first started. I ain't got to do the flips. I ain't got to do the dives. I don't have to put my career or my life on the line every match for your amusement and entertainment because I make you feel. And it's so true because there's so many wrestlers nowadays, more than there's ever been in the history of wrestling. There are more wrestlers today than ever before. And sadly, only a select few actually make you feel something. Only a select few can you even say are in the realm of larger than life that have true personality and charisma. Most wrestlers today are like an assembly line off a distribution center assembly line. One after the other, they all look the same, talk the same, act the same, lack the charisma, lack of personality, nothing outside the box, nothing unique, nothing makes you look twice. Most wrestlers today, you'd walk by in a Home Depot or at the local supermarket, the local 7-Eleven. You wouldn't even know a wrestler just walked by you. That was just on your TV on Monday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. There's wrestling every night. MJF makes you feel, man. It's just, yeah, man. He had a live mic. That was a lot of fun. Completely shredded up Mark Briscoe. Briscoe hits, and it's such a good dynamic because Briscoe, it's just the ultimate good guy, right? I mean, it's just like you can't help but root on somebody like Mark Briscoe, especially knowing what he's went through, especially recently, and just a good dude. And then you have just the biggest asshole probably in the business, MJF. It just works, bro. That was pretty good. If you're wondering, did he have a response for Bobby Lashley jacking him up? Before Briscoe did come out, he did. He was talking mostly, I believe, about Hangman Page. But he says, I don't need you either, Bob. So he's back to calling him just Bob. So there's some dissension there. I wonder how they're going to play that out. Anyway, I'm going to watch this. I think this is the main event, right? We got about 5 minutes till the top of the hour, but usually they do an overrun. But we got Claudio in there with Briscoe. So we're in a picture-in-picture commercial break, but I want to make sure I'm giving you guys, as I always say, the best review possible. So to do that, I want to give this my undivided. So I'll snap. We'll come back. We'll talk about it, man. But next time we come back, Dynamite will have gone off the air, and we'll talk about this show in totality. Yeah, so Briscoe just defeated Claudio. I think it was a roll-up, too. I told you, the roll-up, too overused in pro wrestling. I don't care the company. But Briscoe had to beat Claudio there because they're setting up this MJF-Briscoe matchup. You can't have all of that on the microphone, and then moments later, he just loses a match to Claudio. But hold on, guys. We're still live, actually. Marina. Shafir just took out just took out Brisco. Mox is in the ring now with Wheeler, and he's got his arm around Wheeler like, I got you. Yeah, where were you when Hangman was whooping his ass? Now Mox is going to play older brother. Hangman's now coming to the ring. I love when they do this. You start with a story, you start with individuals, and by the end of the night, you are wrapping up the show with the same individuals. That's how you complete a story. And if you do it correctly, you catapult it to the next week and beyond. Dare I say cliffhanger? Hold on, let me hear this. Hold on, we're live. Hangman face to face with Mox with a live mic. Oh, Hangman saying next week Dynamite, Hangman Mox for the World Championship. Everyone but a referee is banned from ringside. And I already know your answer is yes, so I will see you next week. Did he call him a dumbass? Like Roman has been calling Paul, and I just called Seth Rollins and his faction the dumbasses. Hold on, we're still live. Hold on. Hangman's walking up the ramp, so he just took off. Oh, they already got the graphic ready, man. They just put up the graphic. Mox Hangman next week for the championship. Everyone barred from the ring but a referee. You got to believe Hangman keeps the championship, obviously, but they're probably going to have that matchup stacked, probably overbooked to the 10th, I'm guessing. Post-match is probably when that thing's really going to implode. Damn, all right, they're stacking this card up for next week. Mox ain't happy. He's leaving, flipping everybody off. We're still live, 4 minutes past the top of the hour. Shafir's following Mox through the crowd. Wheeler is the last one holding his head from his ass whooping earlier. So Wheeler, Yuta, and they just left Wheeler, Yuta in the back. Wheeler's trying to keep up with him. I don't know. There's something there with Wheeler, man, if they want to keep playing into this. What they did at the top of the night. And now they're just zooming in on that graphic. That is a pretty big Dynamite matchup, man. That was the talk of the town for All In. Mox finally losing that title. And Hangman is just like, dude, you don't have to beg or do any bullshittery. I'm telling you face to face, I'll give you a title match next week. Everybody barred, let's fight. It just went off the air now, guys. That was Dynamite. That's a pretty big announcement. I mean, that's some cowboy shit. That's just somebody who's like, dude, I don't play the games. Let's just go. And that's Dynamite. I say it all the time. Where are people getting Dynamite is so bad? Maybe it went through a rough patch. Maybe it's not as best as it can be, but no wrestling show is. But this is why I wanted to do this tonight, man, and the way that I am live. Live reaction while the event is going on, because I need to see live. What is everybody seeing, man? How is this so bad and shows like Raw is so good? It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And yet again, Dynamite was not just watchable. It was a decent show and at times even good. The stories make sense. The fact that there are stories. What a concept. It sucks that we have to compare the companies, but I mean, it just gets so stupid to a point where you have no choice, man. You look at a show like Raw and everyone's praising what? A show like this gets ran through the mud? Are you kidding me? Of course, somebody like BC, who's a creator, could have made this so much better. It's not a pat on the back. I'm a creator. It's my wheelhouse. It's my bread and butter. It's what I do. I create. So when I'm looking at a 2-hour wrestling show, of course, there's things I would add in and expand on and take it to the parking lot and have something cool happening over here and away from the ring. And of course. And it's frustrating to watch and know that we could do so much because I see so much potential in WWE especially, and AEW just as much, even though they are the younger of the two. I see so much potential, and that's what angers me, and that's what makes me such a harsh critic. I see the potential, but when you see a show like this, you see promise. And that's the first ingredient in getting something special in the future, and hopefully it's the near future. So anyway, that Dynamite, yeah, decent bare minimum and even good at times. There were some moments it was like, but only some. This is not a chore to get through, and I feel like I say that all the time when I watch Dynamite. So no, I don't see where people are coming up with Raw is good and Dynamite is just like the worst rest. It's not true. It's not. I just dissected it from top to bottom, and this is from the best of the best to do this shit. That's the amplified truth. That's it, guys. That's it. I put the backlights on for the main event. I probably shouldn't have done that. Battery's running low, so the backlights affect the front lights, and my battery's running low, so we gotta end this review and this upload. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this style. I really wanted to do this kind of live reaction type pre-record review. And who knows, maybe we'll do many more in the future. But that was AEW Dynamite. Thank you, Tony Khan and AEW, for giving me a watchable wrestling show. What a concept. Until next time, and there will be that next time. 44 Dive, that's a wrap. BC in the unit. We're saying check you. Salut!